Sifuna nitukuruta wira nao niguo. Yes, na ndamwira atige guthira ndege, ndamukania athiagire guku thi ta ithui mwicire ithui ni ndege tutangihota kugura tuge ucuhurwo kuma iguru ka tutigo cuhurwo. Ndamwira mwanake ucio ndamutara ndamwira tuthu mwanake munini na we na igweta muno Kenya na andu aingi ni marakwihoka na bururi ni urakubatara karuge kaurarie nako we utikana nake ithuĩ tũthiagĩrwo gũkũ thĩ na ti atĩ tũtingĩgũra rwĩgĩ.
Ladies and gentlemen, Democracy for Citizens Party leader Rigathi Gachagua was speaking at a funeral in Kieni, Nyeri constituency on May 14th, 2026, and what he said went far beyond condolences. The former Deputy President stood at the funeral of Anne Nyathoro Ndungu, the mother of Iala MP Kanini Kega, and used that platform to publicly quote Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna and the Linda Mwananchi faction into a unified opposition ahead of 2027 general election. Crucially, Gachagua did not just extend an olive branch. He issued a personal security warning to Sifuna, telling him to stop traveling by helicopters and instead use road transport, the same the DCP leader and his allies moved. His words carried unmistakable weight that the government, in his view, is capable of going to extreme length against dissenting voices. So to understand why this moment matters, you have to go back to where these two men stood not long ago. Sifuna is a key figure in Azimio, the ODM senator, a vocal critic of President William Ruto's administration and one of the loudest opposition voice in the Senate. Gachagua, on the other hand, was impeached as deputy president, as you know, in October 2024, in what many in the opposition describe it as a politically motivated, orchestrated removal from within the Kenya Kwanza government. Following that impeachment, Gachagua launched the Democracy for Citizens Party, and he has positioned himself not just as a victim of political betrayal, but also organizing forces for a Mount Kenya counter-offensive against Ruto in 2027. So what follows was a series of political overturns. Gachagua reaching across traditional factional lines, building bridges with figures who were previously on opposition side or the political divine. At that point, the Linda Mwananchi faction, which Sifuna is associated with, and Gashagua's DCP, represents two distinct political bases, one rooted in Nairobi urban constituencies and the ODM broader Western Kenya, support the other anchored in Mount Kenya. Together, they would form a formidable electoral coalition. So during that burial, Edwin Sifuna himself confirmed alignment at that same function. He stated plainly that there is no other formula of defeating Ruto in 2027 except a unified opposition ticket. He spoke of forgiveness between former rivals, a direct note to the historical tension between ODM and Mount Kenya political bloc. Beyond the alliance building, Gashagua's security warning to Sifuna is the detail that demands the sharpest scrutiny. The former deputy president said openly in public that government can bring someone down from above. His words reference helicopter travel as a vulnerability. This is not a throwaway line. A man who served at the heart of government, who sat in the security briefing, who understands state machinery from inside. That man warning a fellow opposition figure about air travel carries a specific and sobering meaning. Meanwhile, Gachagua also signaled that he intends to deal with what he called betrayers within the Mount Kenya region. Those politicians he accused of aligning with President William Ruto while their constituents suffer. He named no names at that event, but the target was clear: elected leaders from the region who remained in the Kenya Kwanza government. He announced he would address this decisively after a scheduled trip to London. The timing of all these deliberate. By mid-2026, the 2027 campaign season is already underway, and in everything but name, Gachagua is moving earlier, consolidating an opposition agitate before Ruto's allies can fracture it. Funerals in Kenya, political traditions are legitimate and powerful platforms. Gathering senior political figures across factional lines at once, such event then using it to announce a coalition intent and use a public warning is a calculated political move. Sifuna's presence at and his public endorsement of United Ticket at that same event was not coincidental. Both men knew the cameras were rolling. Both men knew what they were communicating and to whom they were addressing that. So in the near future, we expect ODM, the faction allied to Edwin Sifuna, to merge with Gachagua and the United Alternative Government, including Martha Karua, Jubilee presidential candidate Dr. Fred Matiang'i. We have Wiper Patriotic Front leader Kalonzo Musyoka. We have DAPK party Eugene Wamalwa, with other united fronts who have shown interest in taking President William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza government out of office come 2024. This is not the first time that Edwin Sifuna is saying that the unity of leaders who are now out of government, including ODM section here, Linda Mwananchi, is to take the government come 2027 and remove what they call oppressive government, that is the Kenya Kwanza government, out in 2027. So as 2027 approach, we ought to see alliances shifting, allegiance shifting, and people uniting against another partner for them to win the ultimate goal of the presidency seat.